Mairead Breen. Now, Mairead Breen is living in view of the beautiful Mournes on one side and the rugged Cooley Mountains on the other. She spent her childhood at the foot of Slieve Gullion, the mountain haunt of mythical figures like Finn McCool and the Cailleach Vera. Nowadays, Mairead enjoys drawing on her experiences and observations of the world we inhabit to create stories she hopes will entertain and invite reflection on the struggles and triumphs of life. This evening, Mairead is reading Changed Times. Mairead.
Before I start, I have to give Biddy some credit for this story because I went to a workshop she gave about a year ago and this story was the result. Change times. Miss Petty got to the office earlier than usual. The new manager, Mr. Wells, was taking over from Mr. Smithers, who'd retired, and she'd things to do before he arrived. "Good morning, Gillian." It was the receptionist, Joni. "I told you to call me Miss Petty." What's taken her in so early, Gillian wondered. Afraid of missing something. I'll soon move her on, like many's the one before her. Peering into her bag, she checked the key of the filing cabinet was still under the pack of tissues in the zippered pocket. Good. Mr. Smithers had trusted her with everything. She'd been there so long. She regarded herself as the unofficial personnel officer and felt obliged to record useful information about her colleagues. She kept a folder underneath the files in the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet for when she'd need it. Gillian polished the manager's desk and rearranged the furniture, wanting to get off on the right foot with her new boss. A 30-something she'd heard, but well qualified for the job, if you judged by his degrees. As if degrees made a manager. Mr. Smithers didn't need any. Hearing the outer door open, she went gingerly out to see Mr. Wells stride in, briefcase in hand. "Good morning, I'm Gareth Wells," she heard him say. She rushed forward. That Joni hasn't a clue, sitting there like a bump on a log. "Mr. Wells, I'm Miss Petty, the most senior person here. You're most welcome. I'll show you to your office. I've everything ready for you." "Pleased to meet you, Miss Petty. I'll have a look around here first," he said, dropping his briefcase. Gillian expected to do tour guide, but he gestured her to stay and made a cursory inspection of the offices and storage spaces. Finally, he made for the manager's office and shut the door. That week, he emerged only to stroll around and look pensively into office cabinets. Gillian waited for him to ask for the key to the filing cabinet, but he didn't. She'd let him look if he wanted, but retain the key. On Thursday afternoon, he called her into his office. His desk was as it had been on Monday, except for the MacBook Pro open in front of him. "Miss Petty, I've been reviewing the data handling system in this branch. It's very antiquated. We'll have to modernise and fall into line with the rest of the organisation." "There's no need to change anything, Mr. Wells. Things run very smoothly here. I'm on top of everything and can find you anything you need in a minute." "That may have worked 20 years ago, Miss Petty. We're in the 21st century now. I've ordered 10 new computers to link to the company network. We'll be doing everything electronically. Any documents here that we need to keep will be scanned and stored online. We don't need all this paper." "But, Mr. Wells, I make sure the juniors know our system and file everything correctly. I keep everything under strictest control." There'll be no need for that anymore. Everyone will be trained. They'll be able to share most files, though others will be restricted to management. I'll meet everyone next week and go through the changes. Back at her desk, Gillian felt stunned. That Joni, silly Frances in sales, and Mickey, the clown down in the warehouse, would they all be able to read her documents? Nobody's, who'd only been here 5 minutes. See you tomorrow, Miss Petty. Got to rush to my class, Joni said, grabbing her bag. Oh, what class? HND, Information Technology. Exams next month, then I'm done. See ya. Information Technology? Oh, a lot of good that'll do her. A week later, all was revealed. Gareth, as he'd asked to be called, announced a new post to go with the new system. Information Systems Manager. 4 weeks later, Joni had the job. Gillian couldn't even look at her. She wouldn't work with her and resigned. Plenty of companies would be glad of her dedication to keeping records in order. She made a mental note to remove the folder in the bottom drawer when no one was around, before she left in 2 weeks' time. Arriving next morning, she found a locksmith working on the filing cabinet. Afterwards, Joni boxed files to sort for scanning, including her folder. Leaving abruptly, Gillian threw the key down a nearby drain. She wasn't at work the next day. A drug overdose, the coroner reported.